and Cube's standing over Brian with a bat, and his desk was all glass. And he's yelling, you know, I ain't got fucking easy, got everything. I can't even buy a house. You know, he was fucking unloading, and the homies were in the back just backing him up. At this point, he's smashing the TV, smashing plaques on the wall. He hit the glass desk, and it bounced.
Were you up there when Ice Cube did the infamous, you know, go bad on Priority Records? He needed his money for his house when he tore up the office.
Oh, I was the one who let him in.
Oh shit!
Yeah, I was at the phone. That was like my first month on the job.
What happened? Because the movie showed it a certain way. But...
Yeah, right. So I was in the mailroom, and Marcella, the receptionist, I can't remember if she went to lunch or had to go to the bathroom, but I'd cover the phones for her, and we didn't have security provision at the time. There was no bulletproof entrance and all the things that happened down the line. And so I was covering the phones, and I didn't hear Cube walk in. I just heard like a hard tap on the glass, and I looked up, and it was Cube and 3 or 4 of his guys, and Lokes, and you know, trench coats, and not the normal Cube. So I buzzed him in, and again, no security provision, but knew something wasn't right. And so they walked back to Brian's office, and the screaming began, and the glass breaking, and the shouting, and his receptionist, or assistant, I should say, Lillian Matulik, who's at Disney now, she came running up, freaking out. Brian's getting attacked. So Brian's office was here, and Mark's office were here, and they're connected with a bathroom. So I jumped off the phone and ran into Mark's office, and he's kind of like a hot-headed Sicilian, you know, like wasn't worried about too much. And him and I ran into Brian's office, and Cube's standing over Brian with a bat, and his desk was all glass. And he's yelling, you know, I ain't got shit, fucking easy, got everything. I can't even buy a house. You know, he was fucking unloading, and the homies were in the back just backing him up. At that point, Cube told Mark and I to get out. This between him and Brian. Mark said, I'm Brian's partner, I ain't leaving. Dave, step out. So I step outside, and at this point, the security it was in the CNN building. On Sunset and Cahuenga.
Yeah, I know exactly.
So you figure there's security in the CNN building. So they came walking up, you know, and walked into the office, like thumbs in the belt, you know, and they came walking in, and I just stepped out of the office, and they're like, whoa, what do you need? And I'm like, you may want to sit this one out. You know, and they heard the glass break. At this point, he's smashing the TV, smashing plaques on the wall. He hit the glass desk, and it bounced. It didn't break. It would have fucked him up if it, you know, if it would have broke. And then they came out, and I, you know, got out of their way, went out in the lobby, smashed more gold records. A woman named Daria Kelly, who I did sales with at Priority. She schooled me on the sales game. She actually has that plaque in her house, the one that Cube smashed up in the lobby. Yeah, she's got that.
Is it still smashed? Though?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, she's got like the official smash plaque.
Okay, that's dope.
So she's probably like, why'd you tell everyone, Dave? Let the cat out the bag. Now they know. So yeah, that was crazy. But you know, I was 20, 21.
Yeah.
You know, that was like,
did you understand what his frustration was?
I mean, I did, but I didn't really take a side. I was more just a witness to some crazy shit, and trying to figure out if this made sense for my life. Like, what am I getting into here? Like, on one hand, I probably shouldn't go back to work tomorrow. On the other hand, it was exciting.
Shit's kind of cool.
Well, I mean, I love Cube.
Like Ice Cube just came in and did some gangster shit.
Like, I know every lyric of every song of everything he's ever done, and saw it go down. It was nuts.
It's real.
Yeah,
it was crazy. So
so obviously they figured it out because he put out Death Certificate, or was this was
Death Certificate. I can't remember what happened first. I think they probably happened right around the same time. Because that was the first album that came out when I was there, and there was a lot of pushback. You know, a lot of people striking out in front of the building, and the Simon Wiesenthal Center, and Guardian Angels, and LAPD, and it was, and we had a police station around the corner, and they were fucking with us, the people that work there. So after, you know, putting out "Fuck the Police," and you know, so there was always this weird dynamic between Priority employees and the cops around the corner. So yeah, it was interesting that we were in the CNN building.
Okay, nice. So so you guys had NWA, you had Easy, you had Cube. So right around that time, Ghetto Boys comes out.
Yeah.
So Rap a Lot.
Right.
Did you
I wasn't there. Like that was more Mark and Brian dealing directly with Jay.
Oh, okay. So you never got a chance to deal with Jay Prince.
I did a little bit.
Okay.
You know, there were a few times I got called into meetings and heard some material, and I remember I can't remember what song it was, but there was a Lionel Richie sample in a song, and I pointed it out.
6 Feet Deep.
Is that what it was?
Yeah.
And he and Jay Prince looks over like, who the fuck's this guy? How's he know that shit? You know, so
yeah.
And then we kind of built from there, and we're still friends to this day.
Okay.
I know you had him on your show.
Definitely. That's the OG.
The OG.
The OG.
You know, that everyone can learn from.
Yeah, absolutely. You know? Absolutely. So what was the first, I think Mind Playing Tricks on Me was the first hit.
Massive, yeah. And then between the album cover with Bushwick getting shot and sending the photographer down to get that photo, but I was an outsider looking in. I wasn't I didn't sign it. I wasn't managing it.
So at what point do you start moving up in the ranks to where because at some point you took the position as vice president, right?
Yeah, of distributed labels.
Yeah.
So as I'd be out doing sales from Seattle to San Diego, I'm, you know, with J.O. in San Diego, and I'm with, you know, my folks in Seattle and the Bay, and then I would kind of figure out the hierarchy, come back to the office and sit down with Mark and be like, man, I know Brian signs artists, but we should be signing labels. You know, we can scale this business if we're not just super serving one artist, but we're super serving a label. And since we have our own in-house distribution, it was the first time artists were given the opportunity to have one distributor hit the nation.
Right.
Because you had to piecemeal it.
That's real.
Back in the day.
That's real.
And everything was a gatekeeper.
Right.
You couldn't just upload a song to a DSP and put it out on Spotify. 120,000 songs a day being dropped right now.
Yeah.
I wonder what the number was in 92.
I mean, it
on
was
a Tuesday.
I mean, back then you got to think it was way more expensive because you had hard cost. And
then
you had lead time. So even
you didn't want to over manufacture.
Exactly.
You didn't even want to manufacture if you didn't have fans.
Man, because if you fucked around and got 10,000 CDs from Rainbow, you know, remember Rainbow back then? And you sell 20 copies and you got a garage full of shit.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah, and you're absolutely right. That was very forward thinking of you because I was doing independent distribution, and you had to deal with Southwest, you had to deal with Gonzalez for this region, you had to deal with Selecto. I was even dealing with Ground Level, if you remember them.
I do remember that.
Super D's down here
I
in
remember
LA.
Super D. Yeah, for
you
sure.
know, so you had to deal with all these people just to get your shit kind of out there.
Yeah, and the game has changed.
Yes,
and now the pros and cons to that.
It is pros and cons.
A lot of white noise now.
Yeah,
a lot of white noise.
I think I like it now. I think if I was doing it when I was young, now I would thrive.
Well, there's no excuses.
There's no excuses.
There's nothing that you can say that is the reason you don't do your shit.
That's real.
All you need is a phone.
Yeah.
That's it.
Because you know, like I know, back then, a cheap video would be $100,000, $150,000. And that might have been, was it 16 millimeter?
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
While they're lying to you and telling you it's 35. You're like, that looks like 16, bro. I had a few of those arguments.
Yeah, you know, so, but at what point, so now you become vice president. So who did you usher in now that you're vice president? Who your fingerprints are on?
Well, at that point, I was putting the staff together while still doing sales, but it was apparent that I had to be replaced in sales. And the guy who replaced me is Brian Shafton, who went on to build RBC, which was Run the Jewels, Chief Keef, 40.
Right.
He sold that to BMG back in 2018. So we still work together to this day. We're still partners in many ventures. And after staffing, it was a matter of signing. And, you know, Master P was the most relentless and the hardest working.
Right.
And the most focused out of everyone I was talking to.
I'm holding court, standing trial. Why ain't I see you round back when I was down? Karma's on the way. What goes around comes around, karma's on the way. There's nothing you could do now, you gotta pay.